What's up, guys? We're back here in the Skyblock world because I recently checked my account and saw a whole bunch of activity of people watching the Skyblock playlist and subscribing for some reason. And of course, by a whole bunch, I mean like 20 views and 12 subscribers, which is like double my subscribers, so that's good news. So I figured I'd better come back and get back to work on the Skyblock world. The main reason I hadn't played in a few months was because the world, for some reason, was getting super slow. And like, when I was running when I wasn't even running the cobblestone farm, I was just standing by it. For some reason, my single player world was running at like half speed, and it's probably because I'm only playing on a laptop. But I obviously can't make a video like that, and I wanted to get it on a server, but the mods and stuff were confusing me really bad. But I finally sat down and figured it out. Now Skyblock is running on a server, and I updated it to 1.16, which means we now have access to, when we get to the nether, a bunch of new nether stuff, obviously, and bees from 1.15, because previously I'm pretty sure we were in 1.14, and villagers changed a little bit, which means that guy's jumping out onto the bed now, and not in the middle. But I do think that the farm still works, so I'm not 100% sure. Might have to deal with that later. There's just a few things like that changed a little bit. There's now iron golems who spawn over there, but it's not a big deal. But yeah, I'm super excited that we can get back on this world and that it'll actually run normal now, and that my computer can handle playing it on a server, so we can get back to work. I started making a list of all the stuff I want to get done in this series in the near future, and I'd love to do stuff like get a tree farm, but I need to first have a bone meal farm for something like that. I don't know if I'll use kelp or cactus or what, but to do cactus I'd need a bunch more sand. I could possibly do kelp, but most of those need either 10,000 pistons or observers, and I don't think I'm in a place to do either of those right now. And so I thought I'd probably focus on villagers for now, and maybe make some good trading halls and get a good emerald source, and make it easy to get a whole bunch of enchanted books and armor and tools with some trading halls. The first step to making a really good villager system is you need to be able to get them around easily, probably in minecarts. So you're going to need powered rails, so we need gold. The first thing we need is gold, which on Skyblock means we need to make a drown farm. Obviously we can't get to the nether yet, so we can't do a zombie piglin farm. We'll have to do a drown farm for our gold. And the best drown farm requires a turtle egg. So that means the first step to the future is to get a turtle egg, which means we have to go to a desert, lay down some sand, try to get some turtles to spawn, breed the turtles, and they'll lay eggs, and we'll pick it up with a silk touch pickaxe. And I think that for this video, we should try to get as many of the animals as we can. So I'm going to try to get pigs, cows, sheep, chickens, turtles, obviously. I feel like there's some more biome-specific ones that I'm forgetting about, but I don't know if I'll be able to get to all of them today because I don't want to make these videos as long as I made them at the beginning of the series, and each one of these animals is probably going to take quite a while to get because of how passive mob spawning works, but we'll see what we can do. First thing to know about passive mob spawning is that the mob cap for passive mobs is very low. So the mob cap is 10. With monsters, it's, I forget how high it is, but it's in the 20s or 30s, I think. And which means you can have 20 or 30 zombies, creepers, skeletons, all those guys running around. And if there's that many, it's not going to try to spawn more. For passive mobs, it's 10. I believe cats take up passive mob cap, and llamas take up passive mob cap, and we have dozens and dozens of those, to say the least. And villagers, I think, are a different mob cap, actually. But the point is, the first step is to get far away from this main area so that all these passive mobs are unloaded, and we can try to get some new animals to spawn. This is the last chunk that our main base area is contained in, so I think we're going to head like at least 12 chunks this way, and then we'll get started over there. Okay, so I'm pretty sure we're in the 14th chunk here, so that should be definitely far enough. Oh, also have Optifine now. Since I figured out how the mods work better and I got it on a server, I was able to also make Optifine work with it, which is super nice because now I have zoom and all kinds of stuff that make the game run smoother, so I can record better on my laptop. So the way spawning works in this game for monsters and passive mobs and most mobs, but we're looking for passive mobs, is that it finds the top solid block in a chunk. So this is the only solid block. All these are half slabs, so it doesn't see them. It finds the top solid block in the chunk and takes every layer from the bottom up to that top solid block and tries to spawn some animals in each layer. So if we tried to make our spawning platform here, then it's going to spend a bunch of time trying to spawn in like 128 layers that don't have anywhere that anything can spawn. But if we made our spawning platform at the very bottom layer, then it's just going to try over and over to spawn right there, and we're going to get a lot faster rates. That's the same mechanic we used with the slime farm we made, and it's a really nice feature of Skyblock is that the very bottom layer isn't filled with bedrock, so you can actually build layer 0 farms, which is super nice. So I brought a chest for most of the stuff because just throw it all in there, because getting to layer 0 is not easy. I don't even have enough building blocks, so I gotta run back first. Okay, I got my building blocks, and now let's see. Actually, I'm gonna put that back on so I can tell when I get to the bottom. That fish is gonna try to knock me out, I'm pretty sure. Is it gonna work? Come on. Oh yeah, it's possible. Look at that. Actually, what I think I'm going to do since I'm down here is make a staircase back up to the main bridge because we need a way to get the animals up in the first place. This is going to be Mob City, so I guess I got to go back up and get torches. I brought torches. Is that a dolphin? Pretty sure there's a dolphin in there. I wonder if there's any like Optifine setting to turn that off where when you pass this level the whole background turns black, and when you go up here it looks like the sky. I think it makes sense for most situations because when you're underground things are really dark, but in this particular situation, it just is annoying and weird. Okay, so later on we'll guide the animals up that, and I might even extend this cobblestone right here to meet, but not right now. So the next step is super risky, I would say. And it's called, we need to get the dirt and the grass down onto layer 0. I guess it's not that risky, but I can't die, or else I lose the grass, and that's the end. So I'm just gonna head down here, nice and careful, because I didn't mention, but you might have guessed that, or already knew obviously, that animals, oh boy, animals spawn on grass. And we also need to wait for all this grass to spread, which is gonna be fun, but that gives me time to get rid of this stack and get rid of the water. Hey, it's already spreading. Okay, we're looking good. We're looking good. And I forgot to light it up again. That is what a 0 layer farm will get you. Alright, the place is well lit and the grass is growing. I think I'll work on expanding this staircase and then that bridge too, while the grass grows. The good news is animals don't despawn, so if they spawn and I don't notice and I leave, it's not going to be like the zombie villager situation in the beginning of the series where I had to get the witch and the zombie villager in the same place, but the spawner was so big that when I went between them, one of them would usually despawn. So they're not going to do that, but the bad news is that obviously they spawn super slow. Most animals in the game are supposed to come from when you initially generate the chunks, when you load your world and explore it, but there is also a small chance that it can spawn in, so it's just a very slow rate. Another thing we can work on while we wait is that this is a good opportunity to try to get the wheat, the seeds we'll need to, yep, there we go. Wheat for the cows and sheep, seeds for the chickens, and we already have the carrots for the pigs. And now we have the seeds. Actually, we're just gonna do that. Wheat and seeds. So I think all we have left is to stand above it and wait, I think. Alright, great news. I've found out that animals do not spawn in ocean biomes, and as you can tell in the F3 menu, right there, it's an ocean biome. And I got in amidst and put in my seed, and I am right about here, right in the middle of a bit of a sea. So that little house marker is where we start. So that's around where our home base is. So if we keep going the way that the bridge that we made goes 300 blocks out, then we'll be on some land that some animals might be able to spawn in. Oh, that's really rough, actually. I think what I'm actually going to do is just collect all the dirt back up and head out to the corner from where this turns and goes towards the witch farm and just start over. But, you know, it's fine. It's not a big deal. I'm not mad. I don't know if I pointed this out before in like episode 1, but this is a really good way to save the blocks. Like, for instance, your dirt or anything else that you're on a platform and you have to save. If you break it and get a slab under it, I think it's 100% success. That's really sad, but whatever. Okay, we've reached the forest biome, so I guess I'll just go to the corner. Hey, I just found a bunch more dirt in here. Maybe I forget how this is done. Maybe you're supposed to place it and break it. Yeah, there we go. So, can I do it? Alright, now it should all be set up right over in this forest biome, I believe. Forest, beach. Can't spawn in beach. Jeez, I suck at this game, to be honest. Okay, now it's all set up in a forest biome. Finally, and now all I have to do is wait. So I did figure out they won't spawn within 24 blocks of you, so I have to get at least that far away. So I think standing up there should do the trick. I don't think that's too far away either. Put a block over my head to stop phantoms and then just wait here for a while, see what happens. Okay, I sat here for a few hours and then I didn't play for like a week because I did take care of some school stuff. And in the meantime, I realized that nothing's going to spawn here because of the spawn chunks, which are like the chunks surrounding the 0, point of the world. Like a big square around the center of the world that's always being loaded for some technical reason I don't understand. But that means that we have like 7,000 llamas being loaded over there. And since there's a whole bunch of llamas filling up the passive mob cap, it's going to say the passive mob cap's full, so I'm not going to spawn any new passive mobs into the game. So we need to move the llamas out of the spawn chunks so that they're not loaded when we're trying to get an animal to spawn over here. Okay, so now we have 7,000 cats and 7,000 llamas to deal with. I don't believe iron golems count. I mean, the zombie definitely doesn't count. The villagers do not count. So just the cats and the llamas have to be moved somewhere, I guess. Okay, if you remember all the way back to the beginning of the series, so the first step when you're finding your spawn chunks is you want to find your world spawn, which I don't know if you can always find it, but when I started this world, I set the world spawn on the island. It's always going to be somewhere around 0, but I set our world spawn on the island that we started on, and if you remember, that island was in this chunk. I believe these are the 2 blocks where we had the extra grass blocks, the mycelium and the grass block, for a while until we got Silk Touch. So this should be the chunk that our world spawn is in. I had to set it there so that we could respawn on the island if we died, because otherwise you just fall into the void. The spawn chunks are a 23 by 23 square of chunks around the world spawn. So if this is the world spawn, then it's going to be 11 chunks in every direction. So the easiest way to get the cats and the llamas and all of those guys out of the spawn chunks is to count 11 chunks from that chunk in this direction, and then we don't even have to go too far. Actually, I might have to count, but we might only have to go 1 or 2 chunks in that direction and they'll already be out of the spawn chunks. And I have no idea why I'm saving these guys, but I've saved them so far and I don't have the heart to kill them now. So llamas and cats are going on an adventure that way. Alright, I got all the animals out here. I added 1 extra chunk just to be safe, so I think they're like 13 chunks out when they only needed to be 12. And I'm actually only pretty sure that the cats needed to be moved at all. I think they count towards the passive mob cap, but I actually don't know for sure. I'm just going to stick this guy in with the cats, and then I guess we'll head back to the animal spawner and see if we can get some animals. So the spawning cycle for passive mobs is like 20 seconds, so it's only going to try to spawn every like 20 seconds, and I'm pretty sure most of the time it'll still fail. So we should still have to wait a few minutes, but it shouldn't be a few hours like it was before. I'm just going to stand here for a while and see what happens. Hey, we got some pigs. Ooh. Oh, and wolves. That's awesome. I didn't know we were going to get wolves too. I know there's a chest on that platform. I hope it's got the carrots and stuff we need, but it's definitely not going to have bones, so it might be another trip back to the base for me. Also, I have to figure out where I'm going to bring these guys, because I have to get them out of this render area, and I can't put them in the spawn chunks either. It's taking a lot more work than I expected, to be honest. Alright, I've got a little place to put the animals right outside the spawn chunks right here, so if we have to do stuff with passive mobs later, we're not going to have to worry about the spawn chunks being filled with passive mobs. So I'm going to go grab those, what were they? A couple pigs and a cow, I think, as of now, and a bunch of wolves, which is exciting. So I'm going to go grab them and get them over here. Looks like there were a bunch of sheep that the wolves didn't get along too well with, which is troubling because a lot of wolves spawned, and now I'm not sure how I'm going to get sheep in here. Alright, here comes the last cow and the last sheep we need to have all of the passive mobs. And now that I'm finishing this up, I'm remembering the point of this episode was to get the passive mobs because I wanted turtles to make a drown farm. Because you need a turtle egg to make a proper drown farm. I haven't edited this episode yet, but I think it's going to go on quite long enough. I think this episode's going to be long enough, so I think next episode's either going to be getting these guys out into a farm, or getting all these guys into proper farms. We have all the dye to make all the colors of the sheep, and we're going to have a really good food source with these chickens for sure. And when it's time to make the drown farm, I'll just go to a beach. There's a beach right down there, so we can get the turtles really easily, but I'm going to call it here for the episode, and we'll just get the turtles really quick when we're ready to make the drown farm. So it took a lot more effort than I thought it was going to get these animals. I thought it was going to be pretty quick and we could get them all, including the turtles and all that stuff. I was even feeling like we might get the foxes and all that stuff this episode, but we're just going to get the basic passive mobs, and we've done that, and there were more than a few problems along the way, so this episode really drug out. So I'm going to call it right here. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon.